From headlines to heartbeats, this is More Than News with Kris Moore. Buckle up for a journey beyond the surface, where we uncover the real stories shaping our world.
All right, John. So we're talking about everything that went on when you were in Las Vegas and all the different changes that are going to take effect in 2025. Let's talk cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, all those things I absolutely don't understand. Right. But they're going to be changing the rules on it.
Right. For the first time in 2025, if you exchange or sell any kind of crypto, you're going to receive for the first time ever a form called 1095-DA, which means digital assets. And that form it's a draft right now, so it's not official yet. But unfortunately, like any kind of 1095 or 1099 year we got, it's going to have a date, it's going to have an amount, it's going to have the date it was bought, the date it was sold, whatever the gain was, or there was a wash sale. It's going to be almost like another stock, but it's going to be on a 1095 form. So you're going to need to bring that to your tax preparer because the government's going to get a copy of that. And if you don't report that, then that's going to lead to an amended return and maybe more taxes, or basically refund back if you got a refund. So just know that if you sold crypto and this does state's law, then you will receive in January next year a 1095-DA that you'll need to report on your tax return.
Oh, that's going to upset quite a few people in the world because you're really betting on Bitcoin. But like it's going to be, I know it has risen quite a bit. It's recently, but now will it stay that way? It is still nothing rising to nothing in my mind. Well, it's hard for me to wrap my head around how the whole thing works.
Right, me too. It's hard for me to imagine that this is going to be a real legitimate form of currency going forward as our main kind of currency they're trying to push. But, like you said, there's really no rhyme or reason why it's going up to the level that it's going. And that we really don't even know the security ramifications behind it. It's supposed to be the most secure, but no one can really explain it, right?
Right.
So I don't know how this is really ever going to be a mainstream form of currency that they keep predicting, down the road. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
All right, so get ready for that. 2025, if you are investing in any cryptocurrency, any other changes that we need to be aware of for preparation for this tax season?
Your standard deduction is going to go up a little bit more for inflation. So if you were single, last year it was 12.5. No, it's 13.5. Sorry. This year it's going to be 15,000. They're going to give a single or a married separately standard deduction. For a married couple, they're going to give you 30,000 as a standard deduction.
What was it?
So it was 28.5. So it's an additional 1,500 they're giving you. And then if you're a head of household with the payments, you're going to get 22,500, which the year before it was 19,000, I think 5 or 8, something like that. So they give it a little bit more to counter inflation, more standard deduction, which should help lower these taxes for your middle incomers and your poverty level people. Should get a lot of their money back. But these child tax credits stayed the same. There was a rumor there was a little 4,000 a kid. It stayed at 2,000 a kid that are under the age of 17 or younger. Now, if once they're 17 or older, then now that child tax credit goes out the window. But there was rumor there was a little 4,000 a kid, but it went back down to your little 2,000 a kid. So I had a lot of people say they heard there was a rumor 4,000. That was rumored, but it never did happen.
Okay. Oh my goodness. Why do you think they raised that amount?
Which amount, Chris?
The amount per single child that it was that's 15 or.
They say it's a counter inflation. That's what they say.
Well, thank you. Right. One time I say thank you to IRS. There must be a catch somehow. They're going to get us in the back.
Yeah, actors not in the back.
Oh, that is, it sounds good.
Yeah.
It sounds good.
And another thing this is no rumor per se, but I know there's a lot of people are very interested in this. The no tax on overtime and the no tax on tips, it is being heavily scrutinized right now in the House. What I'm curious that I keep hearing is that there's a lot of senators that are on board and a lot that are not because, of course, if they don't tax overtime and they don't tax tips, that I had read in the Wall Street Journal that the government would lose, I don't know how many trillions of income that would not be coming in if they do not tax overtime or do not tax tips. So it's going to be very interesting to see if these senators, who lines up with what And that's what we were interested in.
Gonna show the true color. To show the true colors. It certainly is. That's how we've seen that locally of a lot of politicians. Okay, so let's kind of do a quick recap. If you're getting ready for 2024 taxes, you're a business owner, you got to make sure you do the deduct, or you do any kind of deductions or anything for the end of the year. And a couple of those are?
It'll be assets, bonuses, maybe initial payroll, or gifts or contributions into a pension plan, pension employee plan, or profit sharing plan. But you have to the end of the year to do this so you can take advantage and lower your profit and your taxes.
All right. So for an individual, what are your suggestions going into 20? Do you have any kind of mileage and things like that?
Right. I think it was if you have mileage, you could track your mileage along. Another thing is if you're a welder or a sole proprietor out there, if you get another vehicle, buy you another vehicle. But the caveat is, I did forget to mention this, is that depreciation this coming year, they're only going to let you write off 60%, not 100 right now. It's gone down to 60 now. When Donald Trump gets in, it's go back to 100. But this next upcoming year, you'll only write off, accelerate 60%. And you can do a little bit of a bonus on that. But I'm going to write off the full 100 like I've always been able to with my clients in the past.
Yeah.
And it's going to be limited. So just know that. But if you don't really need one, don't need to get the debt, don't do it because you're not getting 100% write-off. You're only getting 60 and some additional bonus. But if you still need one, because you just have one and some money can, obviously get another vehicle or a trailer, whatever assets you need. Another thing is gifts. If you have the ability to give gifts, another individual can get away with giving some gifts. Opening of an IRA or some other, if you're a sole proprietor, we'll talk to your financial advisor. There's probably other programs I'm missing that are out there that they can do more donation than the $7,000 the IRA does. There's probably some other that you can do more than that. So that would be good, dollar for dollar. So there's other things out there, but you probably can talk to your financial advisor. If you want to set up a retirement plan, there's got to be something better than a regular IRA.
Okay, so that's for local folks.
Right.
Now we're going to fast forward into changes for 2025. Let's give a recap again on the LLC.
Yes.
That's a big deal.
Right. So now for 2025, you do not, now in the state of Texas, I don't know, you need to check your other states that are out there, but state of Texas, you do not have to file that beneficial ownership information report that you kept hearing that you were going to get fined $591 a day, up to $100,000 capped. You do not have to anymore. It's been suspended indefinitely by the judge here in Texas, so that does not have to be filed. And if you did file it, keep looking on the internet for a form to send to the IRS, to FinCEN. They're the ones in charge to delete the information you gave down if you went ahead voluntarily did it. So they did not need to have your information that violated their saying our rights as consumers. On top of that, the platforms, you're going to be capped to 5,000 per platform. So if you use PayPal, Zelle, any of those, 5,000 is the limit on each one, not total, but each one. So if you do 5,000 or less on each one, don't worry about getting a 1099. But if you did do it over that, you're going to receive a 1099 in the mail next year that you'll need to file on your tax return because the government will get that and they'll know how much you made. And if it doesn't match your return, you're going to have to amend it. And that may cost you penalties and interest and yada, yada. So don't be too quick, like I always say, to file your return if you're a business. Make sure you get all your 1099s, all your W-2s, all your bank stuff, all your retirement pensions, that if you're already retired, that you have to do the minimum distribution. Wait for those forms to come in. Because, again, I've had clients come in, we had to amend their returns because about April or May, some are late, believe it or not, that way. It comes in the mail, and now we got to report it. Or they get an IRS letter saying, hey, we did get something from another vendor, and you failed to get it, so now you owe us this back. Then we got to amend it. Then I got to charge them for an extra fee to file that. And then, so these people just don't need to rush. Like you said, what's the thing? Find out of all your W-2s or all your 1099s, make sure you got them all before you come to make your appointment to do your tax.
That is so important.
That is.
Don't rush right in,
Right.
On January 4th.
Right.
Or whatever day it is, and you don't have on your own probation. So don't do that. Right. Don't do that. Okay. A quick question I didn't ask you before. Do you suggest for an independent business owner to use any of these cash apps, or is it better to get an account?
See, I like both. Obviously, I like you in the bank account specifically for your LLC reports, but I don't mind. I personally does use Square. I love Square. Oh, I do. And so I use Square, and that's one of the ones that in over 5,000 you're going to get 1099 from Square. But be wary on other ones. that use higher fees. I know Cash App doesn't do a fee, do they? Other than the fees, do they?
I don't know, but
Venmo, yeah.
oh, they all
They do. So just be wary of maybe who's got the better fee. So just look out for that. I know that fee is a deduction, but I hate to say, well, there's then a higher deduction, you get to write it off. I'd rather you keep that money more than get the deduction of just of higher fees.
Oh,
But I do believe you get in a bank account just strictly that if the IRS ever wanted to audit the LLC, all we have to provide them is just the LLC bank account and not your personal business account. So I like that just to keep it clean. The IRS wants this. Here you go. Here's LLC's bank statements. Instead of them looking through your squares and through all this, and they may be wondering, well, this go to your personal. How do we know this? The IRS right now is so tough that you're kind of guilty before innocent with them right now. That it takes a long time. I've been dealing with one guy that'd been audited that wasn't mine, but the guy refused to do it, so I took on the audit. And we're looking at probably another at least 2 years before this probably gets resolved, just because they've been so difficult to deal with. And that's why I know why a lot of them are doing this, because it's like you're basically guilty already with them. Instead of proving your expenses, they just say, I'm about to deny, and they just don't want to work with you.
You make it sound like it's all going to work out. All of us are living in fear of the IRS. They're going to show up with guns ablazing at your front doors. I'm exaggerating. Everybody calm down. But it is frightening. And it's very frightening, whether you're an individual or a business owner. So that's why it's so important. I strongly, and I realize a lot of folks that are listening or watching the podcast right now are not going to have access to John Polanco, but you can find really good bookkeepers and accountants. I don't feel like going to some place like TurboTax or any of those are a good option. Mm-hmm. They hire people for 3 months and then kick them to the curb.
Right.
So, and I'm not hating on TurboTax. Y'all don't send me hate letters, but it kind of depends on where you are in the world. I guess if it's really simple, you can.
Sure.
But if you have any complications and a whole lot of deductions.
Or state returns, some have state returns.
Yes.
No, don't be doing those if we have a state return, because those state returns are very, very complicated.
Yeah.
Because there's some that I've had to do because I have an awful that I worked in Pennsylvania or Colorado or New Mexico. You got to do those state returns, and it takes me a little while to make sure I'm done right and do my due diligence and read on those state laws, because we don't have state tax, which is so lovely about Texas. But goodness, no, I hope that never changes.
I don't know if this is really wood, but we're going to.
Video with it.
We're going with it.
Yeah, but the best way I would always suggest someone that lives in another state is go through your Better Business Bureau website and look for very well qualified preparers or bookkeepers or CPAs in your area, because that's where I picked up some of my business. Because I'm on the Better Business Bureau here locally, and I picked up people saying, we read the reviews on you. That's why we're here. Our other guy retired or kept binder or whatever the case may be. So I picked up a lot just doing through that. So if you're in another state, I would suggest go through the Better Business Bureau, because they're very thorough. They really do work with like with me. If someone did have a complaint, they'll call me and say, hey, so-and-so had a complaint. Well, what was the issue? And then I'll be like, oh, okay, well, they're not just so quick to give you a bad review. They actually will listen to both sides of the reports, give you a chance to work it out, and I love it. So I'm really high on the Better Business Bureau.
Yeah, well, everybody loves John Polanco Accounting. So if you're here in the Permian Basin and you are needing someone to assist with your payroll, with your accounting, with your taxes coming up, what's the best way to hold you?
Is to call the office at 432-335-8383. And we're by appointment only. We're not by walk-ins. We don't accept walk-ins. So if you come and walk in and say you're going to do your taxes, we're going to deny you. Just say, come make an appointment. And then we'll see you as long as it takes. But we do not accept walk-ins, like we said. Just call us and we'll answer any questions. We'll do the return for you right then and there. All you got to do is just make an appointment. But do it pretty soon, because I guarantee you by mid-February, a lot of people already called to make those appointments. So you'll just get pushed out further and further up to either March or early April. So as soon as you think you might have your doctor to give, no rush, just to get in there. Make sure you got your documents. And if you kind of know when you get them, go and sit for that appointment, maybe a month out. Maybe end of February, early March. Don't try to do it February 1st, when we just barely went live, maybe, or into January. So just to get in there.
Be prepared where you don't have to circle back.
Circle back. Then it will come in April, May. John, I got this letter. And it's because you forgot to bring this in. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And again, if you're not from this area, as John suggested, go to your Better Business Bureau, find somebody that's highly rated through the Better Business Bureau. Let's prepare your tax return. So, John, I want to thank you so much. That's a lot of information. That's a lot. We'll definitely have you back on again after the first video to kind of remind everybody if they're starting to get ready to arrive at their stuff.
And I'll know what date by then and when they'll go live. So the next time I stop on, they'll give you a date of when the first day of electronic e-filing starts.
Perfect. Well, I want to thank you so much, John Polanco.
Thank you for inviting me, Kris.
Of course. Well, this is Kris Moore with More Than News. If you are listening on one of the very many podcast platforms that we are on, be sure to push that little like and subscribe button. We appreciate you all. In the meantime, I don't know when you'll be listening to this, but we do want to wish you a happy holidays and happy tax time.
Yes.
You've been listening to More Than News with Kris Moore. Join us next time as we continue to dig deeper, ask tougher questions, and bring you the insights that truly matter.